it's Sylvia Machete. Welcome to today's video on Luminosity TV. Today I wanted to ask you, when things go wrong in your life, whose fault is it? Do you blame your family? Do you blame your friends? Do you blame the economy maybe? Or do you blame the government? I'm curious to know, what's your mindset like? When things are not going the way you want them to, who's to blame? I know in my last video I told you guys about my 35-pound trainers. But what I didn't tell you is that as you get older, 41 years old in my case, there's no amount of beautiful trainers that you have that can motivate you enough to find the energy to get out of bed very early in the morning and go for a run. It usually takes a lot of pushing myself mentally. But I realized that it usually clears my mind and I find that I'm able to concentrate for the rest of my day. So most of the conversations that I share with you all, I gather from those little experiences that I have during the course of my day. And I'm always vigilant, trying to see what each day or each lesson is trying to teach me. And so usually at the end of my day, when I'm trying to declutter my mind, some people call that meditating, the true lessons of those experiences that I've had during the day usually pops up in my head, and I'm like, wow, so that's the lesson I was meant to learn. That's why I experienced that today. So every single daily experience in our lives is always teaching us something. Whether or not we're able to see it for what it is a different matter. So whatever it is that you're experiencing, always remember that there's a lesson to learn. Whether it eventually brings you joy or sorrow or pain or laughter or tears, it's all down to exactly what you put out at some point in the course of your journey or what you're putting out right now. But again, on one of my early morning runs a few days ago, I had this guy it was one of those moments where I was really tired and just gasping for air and just really struggling, and this guy just came out from nowhere and he just blew past me like lightning. And I was at that moment, because I was so tired and so frustrated, I literally looked at him and was like, whoa, come on, why would you do that? Give me some space. I'm trying to run here as well, But I realized that I was frustrated with myself. And of course, I made up these excuses in my head. It's not even 1 meter gap. You know how we're all obsessed with 1 meter distance between us. This was me finding excuses because I was just so tired and so mentally drained that I couldn't imagine that guy had all the energy that I needed. So this was my frustration. And rather than look at myself and my own tiredness and my own faults, I chose to blame that guy, the fast guy. So it occurred to me that this is a clear example of life, and that those who don't have the right mindset will always be frustrated with themselves when it looks like others are zooming past them in life and it looks like others are more successful than they are. But it takes a certain mindset to actually look upon that fast guy and say, wow, you're good. There's a lot I can learn from you. In fact, I'm going to make you my pace setter. You know how at the Olympics, there's always that pace setter that runs like crazy ahead of everyone else just to try and encourage them. That's the guy you need. That's your guy. Because you can be inspired by that person who can now encourage you by showing you that you have those abilities in you if you just push yourself a little bit more. And so you then say to yourself, I must find the courage to challenge myself, to find my own strength, to be able to get to that finish line. It might take hours, it might take days, it might take years, but I will stay on that road and I will stay the course. So if your mindset is one that's constantly complaining, spending time frustrated and envious of those who are zooming past you and spitting fire and spewing hate, then guess what? You will automatically be burning more energy and getting slower and slower in your race through life. You can never be better than what you envy. You can never be better than what you hate, because chances are they are up here and you are here. Don't forget, there's a law of spiritual gravity that puts each and every one of us in the exact level that we are supposed to be in, the exact level that we deserve. No mistakes. So if you have that aura of envy and hate and frustration, that's the level you're going to be operating on. That's the level you're going to find yourself in any race at all, or in any race through life. And what would happen is that you will burn out. Now, when you apply this knowledge to your daily life, you will quickly realize that for every one person that zooms past you, there's a lesson to learn. You now have to ask yourself, am I going to be that person who is inspired and encouraged to keep going, knowing that each of us have our own different journeys to take, and each of us are going to be going at a different pace? Or am I going to be that person who blames the fast guy? People are always blaming others because blame is external. People always blame the haters, the enemies. What enemies? We have to be mindful of the words that we attract to ourselves, because for you to confirm that you have enemies, you are attracting negativity to yourself. I don't have any haters. I've never had any haters. In fact, I can't acknowledge them. If I acknowledge that I have haters and enemies, then I am actually giving them form. I'm giving them life, and I'm creating this power for them. So if you create in your thoughts anything that is negative, it takes on form and it hovers around you, because you are the originator of that thought. So because I haven't created them, I can't have them around me. I simply just own up to my own faults, my own weaknesses, and my own misfortunes, because I know that if I am an embodiment of love, and love is what I carry within me, where is the space for hate? Because the haters would be on this frequency and I would be on that frequency up there. Because again, that spiritual gravity does not allow for us to find each other. We're not compatible. This is why eagles and crows don't fly together. They're both birds in the sky. But we have to stop this notion that someone else is the root cause of our problems. It is mostly because all of the choices that we have made throughout the course of our existence, not just in this earth life, but in previous earth lives that we've lived, has brought us to this moment. And we now have to live through the consequences. People say, well, why is it that bad things happen to good people? Because the people that you think are good now were bad once. We all have free will. Our Creator has blessed us with that gift of free will. Now we have to use it to decide through our race in life. Do I want to pace myself? Do I want to go faster? Or am I going to stop and have a drink of water? Or am I going to allow myself to get distracted because now I've seen a friend from across the road and I want to stop for a quick chat? All of these decisions that we have made along the way determines our arrival time, and it determines whether we even arrive at all. Remember that our finish line is not this earth. This earth is just part of our journey. The finish line for us is to one day be able to go back to our spiritual home, where we call paradise. But many of us have stopped for so long. We're not moving, we're not running. We've been stopping and chatting and having drinks of water, and we've forgotten where we were heading in the first place. Sometimes it looks like the universe has a different roadmap from the one that we're running on. And so we blame everyone else around us. And other times when it looks like the universe has offered us a shortcut, we say, wow, look at me, I'm blessed. But yes, when you have been good, when you have been non-judgmental, when you're stepping up and taking blame for the part that you have played in your failures, you can always get a reprieve from nature. You always get an opportunity to try again, to do better next time. That is why we've all come to this earth once again, repeatedly, to be able to right our wrongs. But in all of our moaning and distraction and burying our heads in the sand and blaming others for our misfortune, we miss all the vital lessons that are around us that would have helped to strengthen us. We miss the help that is always there for us to call on, that is always around us, because we didn't even listen to it. We weren't on the same frequency as the help that is being offered. We were busy moaning and blaming others and creating these enemies and haters in our heads, instead of staying alert and staying conscious and exerting ourselves until we get to the finish line. They always say, what will hit you won't miss you, and what will miss you won't hit you. So there are no mistakes. Nothing is arbitrary in this world. The laws of this creation will not allow it. It is always fair. It is always just. It is always pure. It is always love. Nothing ever happens to you by mistake. You must recognize the role that you have played in your success or in your failure, and you must own it. And you must understand that what you have done has now germinated into this reward or this retribution that you are going through in your life. So are you going to burn more energy whining and complaining? Because blame is always external. Many people choose to point fingers at their friends. Oh, they didn't support me. They didn't help me. They weren't there when I needed them. It starts from within. You don't see that you're the one who was tired on that run. You're the one who was moving slowly on that run. You don't see that you stopped for a quick chat. No. You just see the fast guy that zoomed past you. And then you're frustrated because you expected him to slow down for you to catch up. Yeah, like that's fair, right? You know, there's that popular saying that you cannot speak butterfly language to caterpillar people. But I'm willing to change that narrative, because someday I want to be that butterfly. My goal will be to be able to turn around and say to as many caterpillars as possible that it's okay. You have it in you. You can run your own race. And even though our journeys are different and it will take us different times to arrive, we can get there. We can all get there. And if possible, you can ride on my wings until you can grow your own. And when you do grow your own, please turn around and say to other caterpillars coming behind you that it's okay to ride on your wings as well until they can grow their own. So if you ask me, what is my one purpose in this life? It's to be that butterfly that as many caterpillars can look upon and find strength and find love. Because when we all turn from being caterpillars into being butterflies, wow, just imagine how we will light up this world. We would light up the place into, a million beautiful gardens in this world, and even in the next world above us. So when we all eventually leave our physical bodies and we continue on our journey, that's when we find our radiance. That's when we find our spark. That's when we find our glow. And of course, that's when we find our luminosity. So next time when things are not going the way you want them to, understand it's nobody's fault but yours. You have the power to make that change. And it starts by being good in your thoughts, in your words, and in your actions. Again, happy thoughts make happy people. Until next time, take care. Bye-bye.